What is up, people? It is MewMonster58 and welcome back to another video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Legacy United Voyager class animated universe Optimus Prime. Now this is a figure that I know a lot of people have personally been looking forward to. I personally have also been looking forward to this specific figure's release, although I'm not personally interested in getting the entire group because clearly they're aiming to make the entire, main Autobot and probably Decepticon cast for animated. I'm just here to get Optimus Prime and Bumblebee, really, but of course, because when it comes to this figure, I feel that I wanted to get it also just to do a good review on it because I know a lot of people are looking forward to it. The other reason that I'm not getting the other ones is just because I didn't connect to animated all that much. I did watch it a good deal when I was a kid, but I never really got the urge to rewatch it when I was an adult. So it never really connected with me much to that point. So, not to rank on animated, from what I've heard, it's a fantastic show. Shout out to all you animated fans out there. I just didn't connect to it as much as a lot of you guys did. But taking a quick look at the box, as we can tell, we can see the very nice artwork there of Optimus Prime. Obviously, you can see the Transformers Legacy United. You can see the animated universe Optimus Prime stuff right there as well. In addition to that, we're going to take a look at more artwork here on the side of the animated Optimus Prime. Fantastic artwork as usual by the guys at Hasbro. Also, more artwork for the 40 years of Transformers. And finally, we do have our obligatory product shots, Transforms in 25 steps, 40 years of Transformers. Yeah. So that's really it for the box, guys. So let's get this guy out here and see how he looks in hand. Alright guys, here we have the Transformers Legacy United Voyager class animated universe Optimus Prime in his vehicle mode and out of the box, and I gotta say this looks really good. I do have a couple complaints about this vehicle mode, but other than that, I think it is very faithful to how he looked in the original cartoon, so I will obviously put him off to the side here and you can see a quick screenshot of how he looked in the show. With it's gonna have his trailer more than likely, but at the very least, the cab sections look relatively the same. If I can find a cab only picture, then I'll put that there, and obviously my previous comment will not apply here, but for the most part, there is the comparison. Again, I think it is very faithful. So, taking a look at the vehicle mode, obviously what you can see is you can store the axe on here on the back. And so you can see that there are peg holes here as well as here, so you can do whichever way, and then you do have pegs here as well as here and here, so you can peg it whichever way you feel, is appropriate. I think it looks stupid when it comes to most vehicle storage, as most people can probably agree with that. But when it comes to this figure, for the most part, I do think that this is a really nice vehicle mode, again, except for a minor personal complaint. So taking a look at this, you can see very nice. You got the light bar there. You do have the nice windshield here, very faithful to the original design of Optimus Prime. You got the nice yellow painted headlights there, got some nice silver and black there, got some nice molded in detail for the grill of the truck, as well as sort of these ram style bars. You can see very nice, silver right here. The red is also very nice. Again, the light bar up here. You have some more nice. You got the wheels are all just painted black, which is perfectly fine. It's accurate to how the show was. Taking a look on back, there's really not too much on back when it comes to this part here or any of the side. This is not too crazy. Looking at the underside of the vehicle, there really isn't too much when it comes to the underside. Nothing that really indicates and screams robot, but my major complaint with this is just the feet. These will become his feet, and they just look ugly. I do wish that they could have, I don't know, maybe folded long ways instead of this way. I get it for the transformation, but it just looks ugly, and it just sort of ruins the look of the back of the vehicle for me. But other than that, a really solid vehicle mode, and he definitely feels hefty. He may be a rather small Voyager in terms of maybe the length, but in terms of the heft, this guy's pretty heavy. So we're going to do some comparisons after that, so we're going to set him off to the back there. Here he is with the Deluxe Class Magnus, as you can see, taking a look. Like I told you, the length really isn't crazy Voyager. Like, he is longer, as you can see, than Magnus, but at the same time, when it comes to the vehicle mode, I mean, like, it's really not that much bigger. Yeah, sure, it's taller, but really this guy has the heft to make it the Voyager in comparison to the Deluxe. So overall, pretty solid size. I just think maybe some people, maybe at first glance, think he is small, which he genuinely probably is in this vehicle mode, a bit small, but again, faithful to the show, and it's really in the heft in comparison to a Deluxe. And here he is with the Deluxe Class Bumblebee from Legacy United. Again, these guys scale very well together. Taking a look at this, obviously Bumblebee being essentially a compact car, compact hatchback, should be much smaller than a fire truck. And so when it comes to this, taking a look here, you can see the big size difference, obviously, Voyager Deluxe. Now, granted, Bumblebee is a small Deluxe, as I've shown you in my Magnus and even his own review. He is a small Deluxe, but at the same time, he is the smallest Autobot in the team, so at the end of the day, this works for me when it comes to the scale. You can see here on the back as well. You can see the width difference between the two of them. I can just do this, and then you can see the width difference between them. Literally, even if I take the rockets off, you can definitely see the huge, width difference between these two. And obviously, Bumblebee is much, much lighter in comparison to Prime. But overall, yeah, this is a really solid scale. And again, I'm really, really happy with it. Now, getting into the transformation, one thing I'd like to say for a disclaimer real quick is I actually lost my instruction booklet. You guys saw I had the box. I've been looking all over, and I have no idea where I put my instruction booklet. So the end screen for my conclusions part will be a bit different looking just because I do not have the instructions for this guy, and I've looked all over on the places where it could be, and I just have no clue where it is. I might have stored it already, like unbeknownst to myself, but again, I don't think I necessarily would. I don't know where it is, so I apologize for that. But yeah, getting into the transformation, it's actually quite simple. It's not super, super simple, but it's simple enough, and at the same time, it's not very frustrating, and I do very much enjoy it. So, getting into the transformation, let's start off with the legs. So what I like to do is sort of unpeg the entire bottom waist section, and what you can do is you can take these sections and then you can rotate them down like so, and then what you'll notice, actually, while you're doing that, you can split the legs. Well, you notice there is a peg right there, and then there's a hole right there that this just goes into, and then what you can do is take the foot and fold it up like so, and then just rotate this entire section, and then this will just tab right into place. Then you take the foot, and then you just accordion it like that, and then there, you literally have his leg done. Same thing here. Rotate this all the way down, tab that in, fold the foot out, rotate this all the way around like so, tab this into place, take the foot, and then you can just boom, and accordion it, and here is the bottom half of Prime basically finished. Then what you're going to do is rotate this all the way around, and this doesn't really tab into place, but you don't want to try to anyway. So now it comes to the top section, so we'll move the camera up here. If he'll balance, and yes, he is balancing. So moving it on up here, so you're going to untab this, and you can just rotate this all the way back and just out of the way. Then take this front section of the truck and just fold it down, and then it reveals his head. Then from here, what you're going to want to do is essentially, you're going to want to like leave the waist up like so, and then you're going to want to essentially untab these arms, because these are tabbed in with these little tabs here on either side. So you're just going to want to untab them and then start to rotate them down a bit, and then unfold the wheels from the sides here, because these contain wheels. So you're going to want to do that, and then sort of, it's so really weird how this ends up going together, but you essentially rotate these so that they're like this, and then you rotate the chest down like so, and you can keep it like this for now. It's not going to quite go in. And then from here, what you want to do is essentially line this up. So what you're going to notice is that there are pegs here on either side of the backs of these wheel things. And then you're going to notice that there are two peg holes here as well as here on the back. And then you sort of just have to line this all up. And it's kind of funky how this ends up lining up, but you just got to end up finagling with how this is all... It's a little frustrating. This is the most frustrating part, in my opinion, about the transformation. Like that. There we go. And there we go. So you basically have to get it so that these are all sort of lined up and that they fold in, and they'll essentially like slot in on the sides here. So you just want to essentially keep it like this. And then from here, what you can do, let me just rotate that down a little bit, and then there we go. Now peg this in, make sure they're flat like that. Then rotate this down, and then you'll notice that this section should slot into these. You see it's like a friction tab, so there are two little tabs right there on those little dots right there. And then you can just slot that into place. Then for the arms, very simple. Just take these, rotate them down like so. Make sure that the arrows are facing the front, and then you can just fold the fists out. Again, so you just do that, rotate them down. Make sure the arrow's facing forward, fold the fists out. And then there he basically is in his robot mode. So guys, is the Transformers Legacy United Animated Universe Voyager class Optimus Prime in his absolutely fantastic looking robot mode. And guys, at the end of the day, I gotta say that this guy looks absolutely brilliant, and I think that they did a great job at sort of modernizing the design of what Animated Prime looked like in the original show, while also giving it to us very faithfully. So at the end of the day, even though this isn't one-to-one accuracy, I would say, considering there's not the smooth tapering of his chest down to his abdomen through the rest of his body, this is still a wonderful representation of the Optimus Prime that we all knew. So taking a quick look here, we'll take a look at the head sculpt. You can see that this is an extremely faithful head sculpt. Obviously, doesn't have the battle mask on, but at the end of the day, this is more of the Optimus Prime that we saw in that show in comparison to the actual face mask version. Really, really nice blue paint for the eyes, lighter blue paint for the face, and then a very similar blue to the eyes for the rest of the head as well. Very nice painted for the silver as well. The little black outline is also a really nice touch, as well as the nose. Overall, really, really well done for the head sculpt there. Taking a look, all that detail comes across on the chest. You do get some nice painted details here on the crotch piece. Going down here with the lighter gray, and then you do get some nice molded in detail here across the legs. And taking a look at the arms, very, very well done as well. You can see some decent molded in details there, and then you do have the arrows, very indicative and very classic Optimus Prime. And then taking a look at his silhouette or his back profile, you can see he is very clean. There's literally nothing on his back, and really there's a lack of a backpack. So overall, really, really good stuff when it comes to this Optimus Prime. So absolutely great looking, and I'm very, very happy. If you want a quick comparison of him and his original, because we're going to do comparisons anyway, so here's Optimus Prime, and then here's a picture of how he looked in the original show. Very, very faithful, a little bit modernized, not quite one-to-one, but awesome nonetheless. I think they did a fantastic job with how this guy looked. And speaking of other comparisons, we're going to get into those right now. Alrighty, folks, here we have him with obviously Deluxe Class Magnus from the same wave. These guys obviously look very look very solid together. You know, when it comes to Magnus, again, being a Deluxe, should be smaller than Optimus Prime as a Voyager. And yeah, that works here. I think that this scale works very nicely. Finally, here he is with his animated counterpart, no, animated brethren and Autobot team member Bumblebee. Yes, this scale is really, really good. In the show, I believe Bumblebee was like about here, actually. But at the same time, I do not mind Optimus Prime being much, much bigger than Bumblebee in pretty much most continuities. If they're in together, Optimus Prime is always much, much, much bigger than Bumblebee. So at the end of the day, even though Bumblebee might be a tad little too tiny, and I can definitely see that argument with how Optimus Prime is scaled, at the end of the day, I do think that the scale works, and I think they look great together regardless. Alrighty, folks, let's get into the articulation. When it comes to the articulation, he's pretty solid all around. So taking a look at the head, you can do up and down. I believe it's on the ball joint, so you can do a full 360. So you can look down like this, a bit up, a bit like this. When it comes to the shoulders, those also do a full 360. You can go out, you can go in. You do have an upper bicep rotation. You do have double jointed elbows, so you get way more than 90 at the elbow, which is fantastic. And then your wrists are also fully articulated, which is always really freaking good. Then you have full waist articulation, which is always really nice to see. For the legs, you can kick forward, you can kick back, you can go out, you can go in, you can have more than 90 at the elbow, and then you have some wicked ankle rockers. So you can't quite get the splits with this guy, but you can get pretty damn close. And so I'd say and argue that this is just as good. Yeah, this is pretty much just as good as most splits will get. So at the end of the day, this is really, really solid articulation. So going from there, obviously, when it comes to the articulation, we get right into the accessories. And so when it comes to the accessories, he does come with his axe here. Looks very, very awesome, very faithful to how it was. You can actually extend the handle as well. The only issue I have with this in particular, there's a couple things I have an issue with Prime here. My wrist joints are very, very loose, in particular when holding this. And this doesn't like to hold in very well. But taking a look at the details, you can see very nice details there. Very nice silver, red there. Nice transparent blue plastic as well. well. Very nice molded detail for the upper part of the axe here. Very nice overall. Again, it's just when he holds it. So he can just hold it like so, and you can even extend it so it's, like this. But what yeah, see, like the the mechanism that holds it, I don't know. There's just it's not even the mechanism at this point. It's the wrist and the looseness that Prime holds it in. Now, again, you're going to want to hold it around the thicker parts of the handle so you can see that there's this thinner part here and then there's this. But even when you're putting it in the thicker part, it's just like it feels so loose. I don't know. And then when you're trying to handle it in the long form with you can see the wrist just like, yeah, you can see what I'm talking about. The axe is just pretty heavy and the joints are not in any way great at supporting it, so you have to do stuff like this or something like that where he's holding it like this. But you can double hand it, which I think is very cool. So if we extend it all the way and then just do this, you can. This is how I actually have him displayed on my shelf, is essentially like this. So you then just reach in like this, and then you can have him, something like this, right? So that's really freaking cool, and I'll pan the camera up a bit so you guys can see that. Zoom out a little bit as well. But yeah, you guys can see that's pretty freaking cool at the end of the day. Like, I can't really complain too much about this. It ends up looking really, really neat on a shelf as well. But yeah, it's just, man, the wrists are loose and some of the joints are loose and the axe is really heavy. So it results in him being a bit floppy. And so that is a demerit for me. I don't know if that is the same across all copies. I'd love to hear if you guys have copies, I'd love to hear your experiences with it in the description below. Leave a comment in the comments below. So definitely leave a comment detailing your experience if you have this figure. So yeah, again, a little knockoff, but the accessory itself is really nice. Again, just some functionality issues with it, but other than that, pretty solid all around. And then I believe if you can you actually, yes, so you can actually rip this off the light bar, and then you do have storage points, but you also just have the one peg here. So if we take this axe off his body, you can just store it on the back like so, and I think that does look very cool. So let's get it more angled like that. Yeah, if you do store it like that, that is pretty cool. So I think that looks really neat. You can store it however you'd like to, but yeah, I think that is a very cool weapon storage that you have, especially when it comes to an axe. So yeah, really, really solid all around. Alrighty, folks, and now from there, let's get into reverse transformation, which is pretty much just as actually better than getting into robot mode in my opinion, but not crazy. I know that I said that getting from vehicle to robot wasn't frustrating, but literally it's just the chest, and once you start doing it a few times, you start to get better and better at it. Again, I was just sort of like stage fright camera, like, oh, what was I thinking? What was I doing? Trust me, it's a lot easier, especially when you're handling it without any cameras on or anything like that. That's my apology there. But getting into the reverse transformation, very simple. So let's remove the axe, get that out of the way. Obviously, don't need the accessories. So straighten him all out, like so. From here, what I like to do is start off with the top section, so you can take the fists, fold those in. Oops, fold those in, like so. So do that. Whoops, rotate them in, fold them in. Then you can fold the arms up, and what you'll notice is that there is a tab there, and then there's a slot there, so you can just fold those in, like so. Then I get to rotate them around, like so. Take the chest, unfold that. You can straighten out the head, take the back, untab that, rotate that up. Then sort of unlatch the bottom, and then you can start to rotate all this up. Then take this, take the wheels and fold those in. Take this, and what you'll notice, again, there is this tab, and you just got to push it in, or this tab, and you just got to push it in, so just like that. Make sure that's all tabbed into place. So again, on this side, so just fold those wheels in, and then sort of do that, tab that all into place. Take this, fold this on the top section, like so. Get that all slotted in, and then you can just bring the truck chest forward, sort of tab everything together in place. Sometimes this doesn't like to tab the best, but it still looks pretty solid, so you got that right in like so. Then after this, coming to the bottom, so we'll move the camera down now. Getting to the bottom half, so what you're going to want to do is rotate the entire waist, and then what you'll notice is that there are two tabs right there, and then there's two holes, so you just kind of fold this up and then tab those into place like so. Then when you go for the legs, fold out the toes on each side first. Then you're going to want to rotate all these around Untab it from there, rotate this around, and then these will just tab into place. So you just gotta push it in, and then what you're gonna want to do is take this, leave these up here for now. Do the same thing here. So once you've got the toe untabbed like that and accordion out, you can just take this entire section, rotate it all the way around, untab this section, rotate it all the way around as well. Then you're just gonna want to tab this into place, and then you notice that there's a tab there and there's a hole there. So you're just gonna want to smush these together like so. Then you have two tabs there in each foot right there, and then you have the two tab holes on either side. So you just go in and do that, and that's really about it. So ladies and gentlemen, here we do have the Transformers Legacy United Voyager class animated universe Optimus Prime back in his fire engine mode. And so guys, for my final and concluding thoughts on the Transformers Legacy United animated universe Voyager class Optimus Prime, this guy's absolutely awesome. I think he's a really faithful and great representation of what we saw in that original animated cartoon, while also still modernizing the figure to sort of today's standards. Even though he's not one-to-one, I do think that this is a very awesome, faithful recreation and modernization of an amazing character that I know a lot of people loved back in the day. When it comes to this figure, all the positives. Vehicle mode looks good. I do think that the robot mode also looks fantastic, although not one-to-one. The axe accessory is also very, very nice, and the paint is very well done. In addition to that, I do think that the other thing that works with this is the scale. Yes, he is very big and probably bigger than he should be compared to Bumblebee, but I think that's more on Bumblebee's end, being a little tad bit smaller than he should be. But overall, yeah, really, really good. The last, cons I have for this, the joints are a bit loose. The getting that chest to tab together sometimes can be a bit frustrating when you're still trying to learn how to transform this guy. And in addition, the axe handle isn't the best when it comes to him holding it. I do think that the functionality of the axe is a little bit suck in comparison to the actual look of it. But other than that, again, overall a great figure. Out of a 10, I got to give this guy probably 8.5 to a 9 out of 10. I don't really see too much wrong with this guy, so I definitely recommend you guys go and pick this up. And speaking of picking this up, obviously I picked mine up as usual on the Big Bad Toy Store, so we'll leave a link in the description to that. I'll also leave a link in the description to Hasbro Pulse as well as Amazon. But if you guys are looking for this guy in real life, if you're hunting, for him, I hope he will be hitting retailers relatively soon. I know my Walmart does not have anything close to Legacy United right now, but I know that there are going to be retailers, or there might already be retailers with the first Legacy United waves out. So if you guys are going to search IRL, I definitely wish you the best of luck there. So that's about it. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. Please like, comment, rate, and subscribe, and share this video with your friends. Also follow me on the socials, and those will be linked in the description below. And with that, guys, I thank you once again so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Peace.